KUAM TV 8, your home for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games.
Hafa welcome to Weekend Edition. I'm Julius Santos. Glad you could join us. We can do both without the drama. That's the essential message from the governor about the two efforts to pay war claims.
Governor Leon Guerrero says the pause on her move to pay war claims locally is just that, a pause. It doesn't mean the effort is dead in the water. Magahaga Leon Guerrero saying the intent and the reason for the local legislation authorizing payment of war claims is noble.
And the impetus behind that is, it's 75 years, Chris, of liberation. Our manuncos are getting older, and I feel that we need to advance those payments, working with the White House, working with the Congress.
The local effort falling on its face after Guam delegate Michael San Nicolas in a teleconference before the legislature's Committee of the Whole implored senators to back off and let him do his job. The governor had expressed disappointment at senators caving to San Nicolas, and in two recent letters to U.S. Senate leadership, she expressed support for San Nicolas's H.R. 1365, while also mentioning her local effort. The governor telling KUAM News her push to pay claims locally was never about stepping on the congressman's toes.
We have not really impeded in any of the efforts that he's making. I just want to make that very clear. This is a complementary effort to what he is doing, and I have written to him asking him to be united on this effort and not see it as a competition or an obstacle, because I don't.
The governor tells KUAM if either effort or both are to pass, elected leaders are going to have to put in the work.
I see it as, hey, let's work together. You get from the congressional level and I can get from the administrative White House level and work in concert for the purpose of our manunco, for the survivors, and that should be the unifying agenda. Nothing else. It's not who's going to take the credit or who's going to, work harder. I think we all have to work harder. The legislature, our executive administration, and of course, Congressman San Nicolas.
Governor Leon Guerrero planning a trip to Washington, D.C. in October, where she says she'll hit the ground running, lobbying to get claims paid quicker, whether it's through federal legislation, local legislation, or both.
I have a lineup of people that I want to meet. Of course, Senator Graham, who the bill is in the Senate level, and Senator Lisa Murkowski, Senator Feinstein, who's the ranking member in the committee, Judiciary Committee, where the bill is at, and of course Senator Elizabeth Warren. I'm making appointments to meet with them, so I'm very encouraged that it's really just a technical correction, so it's not anything about where's the money going to come from, or are these claims adjudicated. That's all been done.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
The man that slipped, fell, and drowned at the Talafofo Falls Park last month has been identified. Autopsy results from the Chief Medical Examiner's Office confirmed the death was ruled a drowning accident and identifying the 51-year-old man as Eddie Lagman. It was on August 25th when a search for the missing swimmer was conducted by the Guam Fire Department, and responders found his body submerged underwater and transported to the Guam Memorial Hospital. Thanks to an extension granted by the U.S. Department of Transportation Federal Transportation Administration, the Guam Regional Transit Authority is able to utilize two unencumbered FTA grants, $237,500 for the architecture and engineering design to build a new facility, and $1 million for the construction of that facility. GRTA Director Celestine Babauta.
Facility on the first floor, and on the second floor it will have the administration and the bus operations. So it will be a facility that's going to enable GRTA to effectively lead and manage all of the bus operations and maintenance.
All of operations will be in one centralized location, making it easier for GRTA to provide services for transit riders. According to Babalta, the land acquisition was the most challenging part of the process. He says that only federal funds will be used to build the facility, and he's working to have the groundbreaking as soon as possible.
I'm hoping that the architectural engineering design will be completed by the end of December. And I'm hoping that by March, not later than March, we'll do groundbreaking.
The director says there are already thousands of commuters utilizing that transit system and that this new facility will allow for growth. Well, the budget bill has been signed into law by Governor Lou Leon Guerrero, a budget that was lower and more tough to manage for the Guam Department of Education. As Superintendent John Fernandez says, GDOE looked at it as a status quo budget. Since the start of the hearings, the department has asked the legislature for flexibility to manage on a lower budget.
They were able to give us that flexibility. At one point earlier, there was a line, they were line iteming the budget per school. But after discussing it with the principals, we made the request back to the legislature to please don't put further constraints on our ability to manage a tougher budget. Now, we are glad for the Vice Speaker and Senator Regine Bisco-Lee for introducing an amendment to provide, I believe, almost $900,000 in additional capital funds.
However, there was a $3 million gap to be filled for the design work phase on the rebuild of Simon Sanchez. That was a project to cost about $5 million.
We did get some resources earmarked for Simon Sanchez. I'm not sure what the final bill has in it, but I believe it's between 500,000 to $1 million. And we're going to have to find the rest of the resources to move forward. What I'm hoping to do is identify that solution and try to get out the procurement started for the design work in October or early November at the latest, so we can continue to keep this project moving.
A bill to phase in another $1 increase in the minimum wage has been reported out of committee and could hit the floor for the next legislative session. Senator Joe San Augustin's proposal would raise it by 50 cents per hour in March 2020 and another 50 cents by March 2021. A news release by the Rules Committee cites research conducted after the current minimum wage was raised to $8.25 in 2015. The study found that 65% of businesses surveyed did not reduce employee hours, and 75% also did not cut back on the number of workers. Well, stay tuned. Next on Weekend Edition, we have trend spotting, and still to come, the Guam Crime Stoppers report.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
Matson is in this community. We've been in this community for decades. We're gonna be in this community for decades to come. Things will get busy, things will get quiet, but we're gonna be here. We're your hometown carrier. And that matters to us.
Reliability is the core of our business. We take pride in ensuring that we arrive in Guam on time as scheduled.
It's our local employees who understand the market, who understand the business, and provide that hard work for you each and every day.
When we hold ourselves to high standards, our customers also hold us to high standards. We establish good business relationships that turn into friendships. That's why it's so important to be here and be trusted by your customers. We want you to trust Matson like your friend, like your family.
entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Happy day, everyone. I'm Asha Robles, and here are the top stories that had you talking this week, starting with the military construction. Some $260 million for Guam's military construction projects will be diverted to help pay for a southern border wall that was a key campaign promise of President Trump. The Defense Department announced Thursday that it will spend $3.6 billion for military border projects, declared a national emergency by the president. DoD released a list of the affected projects, including 8 on Guam. They range from $50 million for a machine gun range, $52 million for earth-covered magazines, to $56 million for a water well filled. A Joint Region Mariana spokesperson says the project has been extended and not canceled. Here's how some of you reacted on our Instagram. IG user by the name of MyBaby0413 questioned, when did building the wall become a national emergency? If you really look at history, we stole from the Native Indians. This president and his family are immigrants. We are all immigrants. This is crazy. Just saying. Wanzo responded, I think it became a national emergency the moment all the numbers came out. He's referring to the illegal immigrants, crimes, rapes, and murders he says were committed by illegal immigrants. However, Cadio replied, it's not a national emergency. It's one person's bias and spread of information that is fueling the border crisis. She goes on to state that the number of actual crimes committed by illegal immigrants is actually small, and that jobs being given to illegal immigrants over legal Americans is a choice of the businesses themselves and cannot be stopped without stricter standards and harsher punishments on the businesses. On a brighter note, with almost 2,000 likes and 70 comments, a huge congratulations to Irish Ariarte Jones, who was recently drafted by the Houston Stampede of the Women's Football Leagues Association. Irish was selected in the first round, 5th overall at this year's draft. Jones will be suiting up at outside linebacker for the Stampede.
So as of right now, I'm given an NFL sports agent. I basically have to talk with him and start something up with him. And then after that, I can go ahead and talk to the Houston Stampede owners and see what they're offering. And this league, the lowest that a team owner can pay you is $25,000. So it's big money right now, and it's something serious. I mean, the top 3 girls that got picked were offered $5 million, and the third girl got $2.5 million.
Irish graduated from Simon Sanchez in 2009, where she played safety and tight end for the Sharks. She also played 4 seasons with the Lady Falcons in the Guam Women's Tackle Football League. Irish also played 2 seasons in San Diego for the San Diego Surge and San Diego Rebellion. Her times and work ethic at the Combine turned heads and gave her the edge on draft day. The WFLA will feature 32 teams split into an Eastern and Western Conference. Teams will play an 18-game season with 4 wildcard playoff games, 4 divisional round games, 2 conference championship games, and 1 Diamond Bowl. Kickoff for the league is scheduled for August 2020. Resident and son of Guam, John Cruz, is a sergeant with the Titusville Police Department in Florida and was patrolling a park when he noticed a resident strumming his guitar. After striking up a conversation with the individual, it led to an impromptu jam session with a CCR classic. The video clip, which has been viewed over 83,000 times, was posted on the City of Titusville's Facebook page, shared with us by his proud parents, John and Carol Cruz of Inarajan, along with several friends, family, and viewers. Here's how everyone reacted on Instagram.
There's a calm before the storm, I know. Oh, it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say, it'll rain a sunny day. I know, shining down like water.
Advances in technique and medications used to prevent dental pain have shattered the myth that a dental visit is something to fear. Even the dreaded root canal or wisdom tooth extraction. Swabbing or spraying a topical numbing agent on before the injection and using different techniques and anesthetics can create a relatively comfortable or pain-free injection. Injections are often the most feared procedure. Some patients don't like the sounds or the vibrations of decay removal. If you're still nervous or you gag easy, despite these techniques, very safe oral medicines can be taken before your dental appointment to eliminate all fears, or some clinics use nitrous oxide gas. Pain relievers can easily be prescribed to eliminate mild to severe dental discomfort after any visit. For your Helpful Dental Minute, I'm Dr. Kenny Bourgeois of Paradise Smiles. We shall never know all the good that a simple smile can do.
Attention drivers, we have a shipload of vehicles on the way and need to make room. Buy now during Triple J's shipload sale. Take advantage of our best pricing on all Hondas, Acuras, Fords, Mazdas, Lincolns, Volvos, Kias, and used cars. Plus 0 down and no payment for 90 days on approved credit on select new vehicles during Triple J's shipload sale. See PDN and post print ads for details or purchase your next vehicle online at triplejguam.com. Trade-ins welcome, some conditions apply. Triple J Auto Group, customers first.
You don't need to go anywhere else to get your news. One and done. You don't need to go anywhere else to get your music and entertainment.
One and done.
Oh, and social media? Yeah, we got you.
One and done.
KUAM Communications on multiple platforms from any device. It's your source to go to, connecting Guamanians all over the world with home.
One and done.
Welcome back, everybody. We are talking about community involvement, specifically in terms of making sure that each and every one of us participates in the action of providing a safe, secure, and enjoyable island community. Sergeant Paul Tapao with GPD is here. Sergeant Hafide, once again.
Hey, Hafide, thanks for having me, man.
Okay, so you folks, you fine folks in GPD, you guys have done the training, you've put in the sweat, you sacrificed, you wear the badge, you go on patrol, but it's up to each and every one of us to actually look out for our neighborhoods, for our streets, for our own homes, rooms, and everything like that. And you actually really encourage members of the community to get involved and, you know, essentially help you guys do your job.
Yes, absolutely.
We're really not deputized, but we can still help.
No, it's the beautiful thing is with the community involvement is when we do the neighborhood watch programs or we do our community outreaches such as the Coffee with a Cop. What we do is we start a dialogue with the community members in just interest about safety and security. And we ask them, how interested are you in really, I mean, you took the time and effort to come out to sit down and speak to a police officer about safety and security in the community. You took the time to come out and to speak on behalf of your concerns relative to our village meetings that we have for Neighborhood Watch program. Now we ask the question, how much do you want to get involved? And it's really important that we stress that because the programs that we assist the community members with are really community centric. And it's important to understand it because the success really lies with the community. And you know, we've seen villages with their own respective neighborhood watch groups start from as minute as 4 members to grow to over 300 members. But it doesn't end there. It really is the community being innovative and finding ways to really address safety and security, whether addressing the kids or they're addressing our FSM citizens to be a part of it, or addressing issues such as illicit drugs being, happening within their village. So these are types of information that we need, and these are types of, involvement that the community needs to be a part of.
Well, we were private messaging. Somebody got into our DMs on Instagram, and somebody was saying, I just wanted to give some feedback because I've been on Guam for a few years now. I've seen the way that crime has affected my neighborhood, and I always thought that, okay, well, I can have every idea in the world. GPD is not going to pay attention to me. It's never going to go anywhere. But he's like, but I made the effort and I went there. And he goes, to my amazement and in positive ways, I gave my feedback. I gave what was essentially very, very harsh criticism. And GPD said, okay, that's great. We're taking it into consideration. And he goes, just a couple weeks later, I already saw the ideas that I was starting to give. They followed up, and they were actually, a lot of his ideas are now part of the process.
And that's part of our community-oriented policing strategy. It really is the concerns, the issues, and the suggestions and recommendations that the community has. Because the Guam Police Department, we are trying to break away from a proactive standpoint to a reactive. So I stand correct, a reactive standpoint to a proactive. And when we say proactive, it really is the community taking part of that. The community plays a vital part. 90% of us to be proactive, the community has to be a part of that. And by whether it be criticism or a suggestion, that's what we use to empower our movements in directing where we need to deploy forces or where we need to concentrate our efforts. So, these criticisms or these recommendations and suggestions, it helps build us and build the platform and what we need to do for the community.
And people I know historically have maybe even thought that, okay, well, I have a bunch of ideas, or I have some criticism again. Like I've got some things I'd like to share with GPD, but I don't want to make myself a target, because then GPD is going to say, okay, well, let's look out for that guy, because that guy's always talking bad about us and everything like that. This is where the dialogue comes.
It is, and it starts with dialogue. And the fine mayor from Manila, Mayor Allen had stressed when we did this segment involving the issue with the machete incident. It starts with dialogue, and look how they've gone from the town hall meetings to having more neighborhood watch interest groups, more concerns with the youth, involvement with the community, and people just taking part of it. So it really, the dialogue starts the wheels moving in a safer and secure community.
Okay, well, speaking of the mayor, we actually have the crime of the week this week, right?
Yeah, this one is an incident that happened at the Barragata Mayor's office. So please, any information can help, submit a tip to the Guam Crime Stoppers.
When something happens directly at the mayor's office, that is crazy.
It hits home.
Okay, well, it happened in the central part of the island, and here's the 411 that you need to know.
The Guam Crime Stoppers is seeking the help from the community relative to a burglary complaint that occurred at the Barragata Mayor's office. Now, the preliminary police report suggests that on Tuesday, September 3rd, at around 7 o'clock in the morning, a staffer from the mayor's office arrived for work and noted the door to the recreation room was unsecured. Upon further review, it was determined that the door had been pried open. A check was made where it was noted at this time that no items had been taken. Now, the Guam Crime Stoppers is asking the help from the community relative to this case. If anyone has any information about this crime or any other crime, you can call our 24-hour hotline at 477-HELP, that's 4357, or submit a tip online at guam.crimestoppersweb.com. All calls will remain completely confidential, and a cash reward of up to $1,000 could be paid if the information provided leads to an arrest and a grand jury indictment. Your call does make a difference.
All right, Sarge, so good information as always. What are some of the most common questions that tend to bubble up when people ask you, like, what more can I do, or, what topics always tend to be frequent?
Issues with dogs, stray dogs, that's being addressed, not from a holistic approach. It started as small chatter within neighborhood watch groups to now it's really the government is taking a step further in addressing what we're going to do. Truancy, curfew violators. What are we doing? We're working closely with, the respective areas that we see a spike of curfew infractions. Littering is one of the main things that are brought up. And of course, the information of how do we report homes that we may suspect to be involved in some sort of criminal element, such as the distribution itself, crystal methamphetamine or illicit drugs.
And still, for people that may have concerns or reservations about coming forward, they still want to remain anonymous and everything like that, you guys still have channels for that?
Absolutely. The Guam Crime Stoppers is the platform for that. We practice full anonymity. You can submit a tip online. You can utilize the P3 app. Or if you feel that you need to really take it a step further, you can actually reach out to the mayor. We can work closely with the mayor and the respective citizens within the community in addressing how we can all tackle this from a holistic approach. So it's important that these small issues that leads to bigger and better things, or to say with, more information about illegal drugs, this is where we want the community to get involved, to really trust in what they're doing is the right thing to do, and understand that the platform that they're using, whether it be a neighborhood watch program or just being concerned, this is where we need them to go.
Okay, well, Sarge, we appreciate it as always.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We'll see you next time. Stay cool.
Thanks.
All right, and please stay tuned because we are back with more after this.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality from